Hello, this is Amber Smith, and it has been a little bit since I have had a chance to do a live here in the Top Picks Curriculum Fair. So I am super excited just to be coming live with you guys. It's been a while since I've talked to you. It's been a while since I've checked in, and so I would love to hear how you guys are doing. I would love to hear how this closeout season in your school year is going. And of course, I want to share with you just some tips and hints that we've learned along the way that might be useful to you. So today, I am talking about your teaching binder and how it can be a tool to keep you on track for your whole homeschool year. I want to share with you my trusty, true standby binder, which you're probably going to laugh at. So I have a little pile of things in front of myself. I'm going to share a few of the tools that I really like. Some I've grown into, some I've grown out of. So one of the things I wanted to share was some of the tools and how I keep myself accountable throughout the whole homeschool year. We've shared a lot of tips and tools. We've shared a lot of fun things. Hey Laura, how you doing? A lot of fun printables and curriculums and helpful hints, but sometimes it's easy to just get bogged down and overwhelmed in all of the things. And as a homeschool parent, I know I have seen tools that I thought would be really helpful to me, and they're somewhere in the download file on my computer. And so it's easy to lose track of all of these great tools that really could be helping you. But if we're not intentional about where we house those things that we're working on and those things that are important reminders of where we want to be in our school year, then they get lost in the shuffle. And I don't want to do that to you, and I don't want to do that to my homeschool. So what I want to talk about is our teaching binder. What does that mean? Well, first of all, my teaching binder is the thing that houses my goals for the homeschool year. My teaching binder is the thing that houses my vision for the year. I know that maybe you are not a goal setter, or maybe you're like, vision boards, blah, blah, blah. I felt the exact same way. And funny story, how I came to develop a homeschool mission. I used a tracking curriculum that was like an online software. And so I had to put in like my kid's name and their birth date and what grade they were in. And then one of the screens was your homeschool mission. And I did not have a homeschool mission. And so, but I couldn't click past that page until I filled it out. And so I thought for a little while, and I wrote a quick homeschool mission about what I viewed as the driving force, the driving reason beside why we were homeschooling and why we wanted to stay on task. And that little piece of paper kept showing up year after year after year. And every time I read it, I felt renewed in my purpose for my homeschool. Now, I wasn't a vision person. I'm not a New Year's resolution person. I'm not really even a consistent goal setter. But that piece of paper changed my mind, because every time I read it, I felt reignited and I felt reminded about my values and what was important to me. And so my homeschool teaching binder is a place that I keep that goal sheet. It's very simple. I even have a free course just to walk you through how to create your homeschool why. It's totally free. It's like a one-day in and out thing. And I'll leave the link below as well. But I didn't think that was going to be meaningful to me, but it has served me year after year. Now I've grown and refined it, but honestly, that first mission statement has held true for the whole 18 years that I've been homeschooling. And so I encourage you that as we talk about some of these things, that's where I said, grab a pencil and paper, grab a pen, grab a notepad, or go back and listen to this later. But these are like high value items. So I, of course, am a homeschool mom of 7 now, but I was a homeschool mom of 10. So I know the number one thing about being a homeschool mom is you do not have time to waste. You do not need someone's fluff, and you don't need a rah-rah session. Like, what you need is concrete tools that are legitimate things that are going to change your homeschool day. And so that's why I feel like every talk I've had here are high value ones. And so if you have missed any of the live teaching I have done, you can go into the event section and you can put my name, Amber Smith, and I tell you, if you go back and listen to some more of those videos, my intention is to always have something you can use that's valuable for your homeschool. So I would love to show you my original homeschool teaching binder. You're going to love it. It's going to take you back to the high school days. And so let me just share with you my beautiful, yeah, you remember these. It's like a trapper keeper. Like I was a little bit after the Laura Frank era, but still same exact same. So this is my beautiful binder. And I just had tabs for each one of my students. And so super simple. This one was like my big clunky. I carried it around for like 7 years. And I'm going to share some of the things I had in that, but I just want to give you a couple of samples of things that I use and have used up to now. So this I just got. This is a really simple little binder. It has just a little folio page right here, so you can stick a little title page in there. And then this one just has a place where I can slip my papers for each person, and it has a little binder tab. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so it's not big enough for my family. But 6 tabs, and you can just keep like important documents and just keep track of like these are your hardcore goal things. These are things that you're going to come back to almost on a daily basis. So this is like your weekly schedule, but also I'm going to give you the 4 or 5 things that I really keep in mind that have done a good job for me. This one has done me well also. This is just a little bit bigger, but this one is kind of the same premise. This one has tabs. I'm also used like the Mead Trapper Keeper that has the little, the rings that open and close, so you can add paper and take paper away. But I really like this one because I can tuck in each tab. So here I have a bunch of tabs. I could put my subjects. I have enough students that I mostly just put my students. And then I put like extra work that I'm working on recently. So like top picks, things go here, advertisement things go here, a work I'm working on in my own personal studies here, but then enough that I can keep my kids' work in front of me. And this is the important part, keeping my goals in front of me. If you're a technology person, this is just fun for you, but I'm trying this. It's called Rocket Book. I don't know if you can see that. Do like the people do where they're like, look at my, there you go. Anyway, this is Rocket Book, and Rocket Book, I'm sick of paper. I'm sick of 9,000 notebooks. And so like you, I have like a Bible study notebook. I have a church notebook. I have whatever we're teaching notebook. I have my planning notebook. And so I have been trying this Rocket Book, and it is one where you take a picture of your notebook page, and then it has varying categories that you just automatically can save that to. And so this is the one notebook to rule them all, right? But anyway, so you can take a picture and then you can save it. It has a QR code. You can bring it back up. I'm trying this because I said I'm just sick of paper. I'm sick of endless notebooks, but I wanted to share a little bit about like the kinds of things that we use our notebook for. So this is just like a planning session for my homeschool. I know all of you guys are like in that end of the year where part of us wants to gut out this school year, and part of us just wants to dream and plan about next year's curriculum. We're like ready to move on. And so hold tight for the rest of this school year. We have like 11 more weeks, and we are just like, gritting our teeth to get through it because it's turning into spring and we want to go play. But we're going to hunker down, and that's where like our teaching notebook really helps me stay on task and helps me stay focused because I keep a countdown in there, and I know how many weeks I have left till we're going to hit the end of our year. And that could be any time. So if you're just starting, then that gives you kind of a positive goal about when your next break is or where your schedule is going to go. So that's one of the things that I keep in my binder is my schedule. And that's going to be my, what is that? Like my hardcore year schedule. That means I know when my breaks are, I know when vacations are, I know when my holiday breaks are, and I can just kind of keep us on track and also check in. I usually break us down into quarters, and so I know about how many weeks we have in our curriculum, so then I can say like, hey, are we on pace? Are we getting behind? Do we need to double up? Does somebody need to get serious about their math? But having a calendar has really helped me keep track of where we're moving as a homeschool. And so if you're not incorporating your calendar in your homeschool planning and in staying on task overviewing the whole year, it really helps me keep ourselves moving and also helps me from just like sliding into apathy, which happens. It's hard to keep that same powerful motivation that you have at the beginning of the school year, especially after the holidays and after spring break. So my calendar really helps me stay on task for those things. The other place my calendar helps me stay on task is planning. And that's where I see where my children are at grade-wise now. But also if I see any deficits or I see places that maybe they need to work, maybe they're struggling in the math that they're doing this year. That helps me I keep a page for each student. So that's where in my little binder between my tabs, I have a section for each one of my students. And I have one page that's just dedicated to like academic observations. So I have let's see, homeschool overwhelm helper, and let's see, this one, relationship goal worksheet. So I keep my relationship goal worksheet. I offered this as a download. I think it was a freebie in February. And so I said I would have a special offer for just the people who are watching this live and who took the time to share with me this evening or who are coming back to watch the replay. So I will re-offer this link to this is called the Homeschool Renewal Bundle, and it just has a simplified version of these pages that I keep in my notebook keeper. So I was talking to my daughter, and it was we were just having a conversation about these pages because I want you to understand that yes, I may not have used this specific relationship worksheet, but I was thinking of ways that I can help homeschoolers develop the same things that we've put in practice more organically throughout our homeschool. Now you can have 18 years to figure out how to do these things as well. And that's possible. And that's a great way to live and learn. But you're here in the Top Picks Curriculum Fair. You're here because you want tips and tools. You'd like to maybe bypass some of the mistakes that we've made in our homeschool, or you'd like to overcome some of the challenges a lot faster than we have. And so when I created these sheets, it was basically a way to fast track your family to do the things that we've learned how to do over 18 years. And so this relationship goal worksheet, I used to just keep a sheet of paper, and I had character evaluations and observations, places that we needed to work on character for that specific child. Areas maybe I saw they were struggling, areas I saw maybe I just hadn't covered and I really wanted to cover with them. So I would make a note in my teacher's binder. Also, academic evaluations. I have a place I can go and be like, hey, you know what? This child is not getting their handwriting. It's keeping us from getting the work done. So handwriting needs to be a higher priority because it's holding us back. And oftentimes those observations happen in the middle of the school day, and if I don't have a place to put it, I miss it and I don't write it down. And then we're doing the same circle over and over. Also, this is where I can say, you know what? They're having a really hard time in math. Maybe I've moved a child up in the next grade and they're just not. This year has been a struggle and they're not grasping it. This is where I'm going to put a note like, hey, 7th grade math has been terrible. So we need to make a change. Or I need to go online and do assessments before we choose a curriculum next year. Now it just reminds me, because when I'm in the busy part of choosing curriculum, I'm overviewing all of my kids at the same time. And sometimes I can't even remember like what math is that child in. So I know that may make me a terrible homeschool parent, or you might identify that you aren't even sure what grade your child is in because you've been homeschooling since the beginning and it's not a concrete number all the time. And so they might be blowing out of the water in reading and yet math is a struggle. Or they may be in algebra as an elementary student in math and yet their spelling, you really need to get a strong foundation. So this place, wherever page it's going to be, whatever piece of paper it is, just keep one piece of paper that you can make academic notations and character building notations under that child's specific name. That way, as you're making a plan for this coming year, you can look at exactly what you told yourself during the school year, and now you can plan according to it. what does that look like? So I wanted to share a little bit about, this was my, when you're looking at the planning stage, this is my planning for the school year. So yeah, now you know my kids' names, but I was just looking at where everybody's at, getting an idea of like all of their grades that they're in. I don't know if this is backwards to you. I'm not sure, but really reading it is the important part. I'm going to show you the next page too. But here's my kids. Here's my high school track kids. Here's my elementary track kids. And then I was just putting a note of like, okay, where are we looking at for our history? This is where you can look at your state's requirements. And I just write down what I'm required to do to satisfy my state or county's country's requirement. And so I write that down. So I have history, I have math, I have science, I have language arts. Those I have to do. Oh, I was wondering. Thank you. So I'll just read it to you as well. But that's where I try to make sure that I am getting specifically those items. So I'm making sure I satisfy my state's requirement or my county's requirement to do those specific subjects. And as I'm looking at my kids, I'm seeing how I can group those together. So if you have multiple kids, this is where, like right now, we're doing some long-term planning. So just for fun, I'll give you my backwards page, but like this is this year. So I have a 12th grader, 11th grader, 9th grader. I'm reading it backwards too. An 8th grader, a 6th grader, and a 5th grader. So now I'm going to drop these two in the next year. So 23, I'll have 2 more graduates. So I have a graduate this year. Next year I'll have 2 more. This is where I'll be in 2024, 2025, 2026, just kind of outlining where we're going to be as far as grade-wise. That way I kind of know like what curriculum the kids are going to need, or basically like where they're going to be high school level, and if I'm going to be able to get all 4 years of homeschool, high school in order, or if I need to change that. So sometimes it's writing out a big piece of paper, putting all of your kids' names and getting an order to what grade levels they're going to be, and then combining or uncombining. We've done the same. So like if you're combining kids together in a group, you have permission to uncombine them and switch groups. Like that is a thing you're allowed to do. But in my planning pages, that's a place where I'm going to write down where my kids are at. And then also if I need to make changes grade level wise, that's a great place to put a note to myself that like, hey, that child is probably going to move groups because that group is moving up. And that's where I can see like this group is all going to move up to 100. So they're all going to move up to high school level work. And so that's where I'm going to make some changes about who's together anymore. So your planning binder is also going to be a place where you're like looking at the future and forecasting where your kids are going to be in their upper level work as well. So another thing I put in there is my skills inventory worksheet. So I'm going to put skills that we are working on right now and skills that my kids want to master. So we have a meeting at the beginning of the school year and we talk about what do you want to learn? Because yes, we're homeschooling, but also like I want some input from my kids, because this is the thing. If they're invested in a portion of their homeschool day, they're probably going to want to work with me better. And so what I try to do is incorporate some of their interests in our homeschool. And so that has been computers, that has been gaming, that has been music, that has been sports and athletics, that has been, nature booking, that has been novel writing. So every child has different interests or things that they want to learn. Maybe they want to learn a skill outside. Maybe they want to learn something that's hands-on, like a building skill or something like that. If we don't talk to our students, we won't know the things they want to learn. And so this is one of the sheets that I do at the beginning of the school year, but also it's a great one to do at the close of the school year and talk to your student about what do you want to learn about next year? What did you like about this year? What did you not like? And so this skill inventory worksheet is a page that I keep in there, and that just says the current skills that I've mastered. So things that maybe we wrote down that we wanted to learn if I had a goal up in my goal sheet for the year. Now that's a skill that we've mastered. This is great for a student who says I can't, or a student who is overwhelmed by the challenge of something new. Sometimes we take a skill inventory and we just show our child, like, here's all the things you have mastered this year. Here's the things we were working on, and here's what you've done really well. And we can just kind of take a minute to be proud of ourselves, because so often as we're working, it's just work that we need to satisfy, we need to get done, and we don't take a lot of time to step back and give ourselves praise for the things that we've accomplished. And so again, this teaching binder is a place where I can praise my kids' work. I can make a note about something they've maybe overcome. Maybe that's a character flaw that they've been working really hard on, and I see that they've done that. I'm going to make a note to myself. And then when we meet at the end of the year, I'm going to praise them for the things that they've done and the growth that they have made as they've gone forward. So, and then I have skills I want to acquire. So that's where if your child has something that they want to learn, or maybe you have something you want them to learn, this is a great place to talk about that and put that on the list. So that sheet I put in there. So I have my my homeschool blah 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 student plan. Where did I just put that? Sorry, kids. This is why I keep it all in a binder also. But yes, so my growth worksheet, my skill inventory. Also, I have my, the relationship goals. That's what we talked about. So growth and resilience and honesty. This is part of the bundle. This is a great worksheet. And like I said, you guys are going to have this. I'm not trying to endo you on anything. I want you to have the tools you need to make a plan for this year and make a really good plan. So this is my growth, resilience, and honesty worksheet. This is a great one. I was sharing that previously I had a daughter who we just had like a year of endless conflict. And there were so many conflicts throughout the day that sometimes I didn't even know why the child was in her room anymore. My husband would come home and say what did she do? And I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's an exhausting, endless battle of behavior issues. And so I started keeping a journal and just writing down what was happening throughout the day. Now, this wasn't to keep a list of infractions against my child. And this wasn't to indicate her in any way or, have evidence against her or even really to bring up with her at all. So I don't want you to think it was like an indictment list against my child, but I wanted to narrow down what was happening that was causing us to have endless interruptions and conflict and kind of get some common factors that were happening throughout our day. And so it really helped me to be more intentional and pay attention to the things that were going on in our school day and create a better habit of awareness in our school area and how I was responding to my students. So out of that came this growth, resilience, and honesty worksheet. And that just has a spot for our negative experience. So if we've had a negative experience and we want to sit down and really go through that with the child, this is where we could write that down and say okay, this is the thing that keeps on happening. So let's address this. We're going to talk about this. Maybe this is also, I get lots of questions about what do you do if your student won't do the work? That is my number one most asked question and answer question. What do you do when your child won't do the work? So this sheet is a great place to sit down if your child is not doing their work and address that issue there. So we could talk about, the negative experiences, you're not doing the expected work. And then how does this challenge me? So how does this challenge who we are in our relationship? How does this challenge me as a parent? How does this challenge our relationship? We're going to talk about that. So what is that causing? Also, what is that causing for them in their learning abilities? So this is a place just to articulate those things and write down some ideas and have a back and forth conversation. Ask your child, how do you think this is affecting you? And then I can share about how it's affecting me. Then what led to those negative aspects? Okay, so why aren't they doing their work? This is a place where oftentimes parents have gotten some surprising input. I remember as a child, my mother trying to get me to clean my room, and basically she could kill me and I still wouldn't clean my room. I didn't know how to clean a room. So it didn't matter how many times I got in trouble or how much somebody yelled. It wasn't going to change the fact that I didn't know how to clean a room. So when we sit down, sometimes taking the time to break down a negative experience helps us look at the problem and step back and be more objective. And when we're objective, we can see maybe I haven't given my student the skills to be able to do this action, or I haven't been clear on the consequences of not doing this. I haven't set clear boundaries. I haven't set clear responsibilities. So there's areas where maybe we can help address that issue as well. So again, this is just an objective way for you to sit down and work. And listen, it's not the punitive page. It's not the you're in trouble page. This is the growth, resilience, and honesty page. So this is where we're all looking at how we can grow. We're all looking at how we can talk about a problem honestly. And we want to build resilience. I want my kids to come to me when they have an issue. I want them to listen when I have an issue. How do we model that if we're not getting it done? We have to create a training wheel that we can use to help us build that habit. So that's where this sheet came from, was to help us build a better habit to talk about conflict areas where we were having a problem. Then what is in my power to correct? So that's putting it back in your child's field. Okay, what can you do to help yourself? I remember my kids would constantly come to me with their like language arts books and be like, I don't know what to do. I was like, it's in, read the box, read the box, read the box, read the box. I had a song. I don't know if you have a song, if you're a homeschool parent. It goes, read the box, 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 read the box. And I sang that song like 9,000 times a day. And I probably bet that you have too. But we sang the read the box song. I made a rule. You cannot come to me with I don't know. You have to have a question. So you have to formulate a question. And that was a rule that we established. That helped my kids do better about understanding where in the process they were stuck. And so helping your child develop a way of articulating where they're stuck is a great thing, because now they're going to come to you with an actual question. They're going to say, hey, I'm not sure how to look up a website to get the information for this report. That's something you can fix. I don't know how isn't something you can fix. So this is a great sheet for just creating a conversation about how to solve problems and how to identify where maybe we're causing ourselves difficulty. So that is in there as well. The last thing I have is my schedule sheet, and that is just a simple, I have several of them, and I have one I think on my website as well. I use Sunlight Curriculum, and so I know they're not in the top picks, and so I have one that's just a printable little Sunlight Curriculum, so it kind of matches theirs and has, but any literature-based curriculum, I think Knotgrass, there's a couple other here in the top picks that is like a literature-based curriculum. So that one, but this one I just made it really simple just to keep my kids on task for the day. And so this just has a student daily accountability log, and it just has a reading log where they write what they read. Math and science, they just write I just have them write the chapter that they read, or the math assignment that they did, just the number. Then their language arts and writing, usually we use a workbook, so that's where they'll write like their workbook lesson, so lesson 8, and this is just where they keep a log of what they've finished or completed. So if they're younger, I can write down what I expect of them for the day. If they're older, they can write down for me what they've accomplished for the day, and that just keeps us on task. So I have done these. My curriculum has a weekly sheet, and so I usually just make a copy of the weekly sheet and pass that out at the beginning of the week, and then any additional work I put on this sheet and staple them together and give them that with their language arts sheets as well. So I give them a whole packet, and then I want the whole packet back. And so ideally, that's how it works. But also I have to be, diligent on Fridays to track everybody down and find everybody's work. So, so I know how stressful it is that there is so much waiting on us to have a successful homeschool. And so that's where my homeschool binder just keeps the important things in front of my face. And so if I have the schedule in front of my face, if I have my goals for my student in front of my face, if I have anything that I want to work on with that student in front of me, and then I have a place to turn in work in front of me, everybody knows where it goes. Everybody knows what to do. That solves so much turmoil in our homeschool. And so, so I just want to encourage you. I will share the last thing is just if you're working with multiple age students, that Homeschool Overwhelm bundle also came with just a working, that's backwards, but working with multiple age students. It just had a sheet of just some ideas, some references for like if you're combining multiple grades, activities that you can do with younger or older, kind of some ideas of how you can combine a multiple age homeschool better. So this download I will put in the link below. It's going to be a few minutes because I got to get on the computer, but I will have it there. The replay is here. And then I do want to share with you that I don't know if you are able to go back and watch the replays of the January events, but January was like our homeschool reset month. And so in the Top Picks Curriculum Fair, I did, I think, 5 talks about homeschool reset and resetting our homeschool. From that, I put those together. I made this bundle of helper pages, and then I actually expanded that by 2 more, and I put it together in a 30 days to homeschool renewal course. And so what we did is I went ahead and recorded 4 new video lessons. So just like this, where we sit down and we talk face to face and we just share about how to use one of these pages in depth. And I go over how I use it in my homeschool. I go over how we've learned this and how this can be a valuable thing in your homeschool. And then I assign you homework where you use this page to make a plan for your homeschool, and you have 30 days to reset your homeschool. So this is for if you're in a place where you're like, you know what, I just need a guide. I need a push. I need a little bit more incentive just to get us over the finish line. If you want that, this course is $40. It's new. I just built it. And so, but honestly, I'm really excited about it. I feel like this is a great tool that has been 18 years in the making. So I also have my full homeschool guide. It's 6 keys to your best homeschool year ever. And that's $89. But that one is a 6-month course. So that one walks you through the 6 areas that I have seen cause homeschool families the most trouble. And we address one of those in 4 lessons. So we spend a month on each one of those areas and dig deep in depth and really get down to journal pages each week where you write answers, questions about your family specifically. So this is where you build a roadmap for your family. So again, I just want to share those because here on Top Picks, I'm here to support homeschoolers, but also like I have built, I think, some tools that are vital to help address the questions that are common to all homeschoolers. So I didn't want to create something that only a person could use or only a specific family could use, but this is for you to create your own roadmap, to answer your own questions as they fit your family specifically, and create a plan of how you're going to overcome these challenges with help and guidance. And I share a lot of my experiences throughout our homeschool life. So that is a total side note, but the Homeschool Binder is just an important tool. And so I want you to have that in front of you. I want you to make an intentional plan. All you need is a paper and a pencil. All you need is a little portfolio or the little trapper keeper. Like I had this sad little thing that I've actually passed on to my daughter because I kind of got over it. But I used to keep everybody's pages in here. I used to keep all of their information in here, and usually whatever I was reading and my Bible study all went in there as well. But if it's all in front of you and easy to grab and reference, then when you have a free minute, you're more likely to look over your plans for the week. You're more likely to review the things that have gone on throughout the month and the semester, and you're able to just like stay on top of the progress of your homeschool and see where you're going forward. So that is the main thing I wanted to share. I will put the link to these other notebooks just for fun in there as well. And then, like I said, if you're looking for an update, if you're looking for getting back on track with some support, that's where I will share about that 30 Days to Homeschool Renewal. It is a great course. Like I said, it just opened up, and I had 136 people from this Top Picks curriculum fair going through it right now. And so I think that it's a valuable tool. I think it's going to keep you on task, and it's going to ask you some important questions to help you create a plan for your homeschool in a really short amount of time. And so, you know what? We don't have time to waste. I know you don't, and I know I don't. And our school and our relationships and our family is our most important thing that we have going for us. So if you have any questions, that is all I wanted to share about our binder and about the specific pages that I keep in it. If you have anything that you keep or a record that you think is important, share it in the comments down below. And also, like, do go back and put my name in a search bar in the events or in the Top Picks Curriculum Fair up at the search bar, and just put Amber Smith or In Due Season. And In Due Season is where I host my courses, so In Due Season Homeschool. And also, if you are looking for a podcast, if you're just starting homeschooling, if you're new to homeschooling and you're looking for just a startup guide, In Due Season podcast is available on iTunes and anywhere else that you listen to podcasts. And it is, I think, 9 episodes of just a quick homeschool startup guide. And so that is just a great way to just listen and make sure that you're not missing anything, to get some encouragement and maybe just hear a friendly voice. So I know sometimes podcasts are what just keep me built up when my week is going long and things are hard. So yeah, I just want to encourage you guys and be a voice that can just tell you, like, hey, this may be hard work, but it is the most valuable work that you have ever done. And I want to see you supported along the way. So you guys are awesome, and thanks for sharing your time with me. Drop any questions down below, and I will answer throughout the week too, okay? Enjoy the replay, and we'll see you guys next time, okay? Thanks.